Howdy, hey, hello there, other human people of the internet. How do you do in this fine, unspecified period of time? I'm Spartacus, and I've decided today to attempt to speak to you while you watch my questionable drawing process. So today I've got to show you a couple of catboy drawings because in quarantine I was not the most mentally sound, but it's fine. Um, I'm still in quarantine actually. It's fun, but I figured I may as well use the time off to make myself do things I'd been avoiding. One of which was actually doing a voice recording for one of my videos. So I'm tackling that today. Um, yeah, so the first one we got is Catboy Hoodie. I'm sure everyone who's watching this already knows who he is or has watched Marble Hornets. If not, it's a very cool old YouTube series based on kind of early Slenderman mythos, but like not. I think they described it as like the character was based around the original character, but then kind of had his own separate lore and was kind of meant to be separate. But because they kind of both developed around the same time, they've kind of taken bits and pieces from each other, which honestly is just interesting to know. Hoodie is one of the characters who appears to have been affected by his influence and kind of lost his mind a little bit. He does generally seem to be trying to help the protagonist, though, or at least he does, in my opinion. That does differ depending on who you ask, of course. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. His mask is creepy to most people, but it's also kind of cute in certain settings. The second today is Catboy Mosky. Had to draw him because he's my favourite character. You can see me tracing over a sketch I did for the initial idea because I kind of like the pose enough that I didn't feel the need to change it too much. So I kind of had the idea to draw him lounging on garbage because I thought that would be funny. I don't know if it actually is or not, but it exists now. One of my friends I was talking to at the time did, well, online of course, I'm not going to be irresponsible and talk to people in person in quarantine. Want to keep everyone safe. I'd feel terrible if I got someone else sick. But yeah, one of my online friends did encourage me to actually draw him like this because it was apparently kind of funny, so that's why he's ended up like this. Honestly, he's probably my favourite drawing I've done. One of my other friends also said it looks like he's posing for an album cover and asked when he was going to drop some music. Sadly, I know very little about music production, so I couldn't make a fake album for him, though that would be quite funny. Or at least I think it would. My humor's a little questionable, but it's fine. Yeah, so at the moment we can see that I'm going through and doing a lot of shading. Shading is fun. I generally like to sort of colour it all in the darker colour, then chisel out light bits and go back and make certain parts darker. I just think it makes it look interesting. Actually quite happy with how the garbage bins turned out too. Did my best to try and make them look really glossy and plasticky. I'm probably not quite accurate to how they'd look in real life, but I'm still pretty happy with how my efforts turned out. Also, the reason why this time I used a lot of orange for lighting was I kind of wanted to try and make it look like, those orange street lights? We have them a lot in certain places here at least. So I thought it would be interesting to try and have it look like the light source was from one of those. I'm not sure how well that came across, but I did make the attempt. And the final one is Scully. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about him yet because, the two comics I've read, it hasn't really gone into much detail on his character yet, though apparently there's big reveals in the newest one, which I'm very excited to see, but I haven't quite got my hands on it yet. No spoilers, please. It looks like something interesting is going to happen with him, though. kind of quite like his design. It's sort of weirdly in between a bunch of characters, which is kind of neat. His jacket kind of reminds me of Tim's, but like the hood and stuff is blue, which is like stuff Alex wears, and then the mask is the Scully mask, which I think originally was gonna be like, I think it was meant to be Jay in the sort of masked state, but I have no idea if they actually did that in the comic or not. We'll see. I'm looking forward to finding out. What else? Also with this one, I believe I was going for, well, obviously I wanted to have it look like he was climbing on something, though I was initially thinking something like a fire escape. Kind of like the ones they have in America. I haven't seen any here, but I couldn't tell you for sure if we do or don't have them. But basically, because I couldn't find a good enough reference, I decided to just use a metal fence, although I also kind of tried to tie it in with the other two by having the brick wall and garbage bin, as well as the tree in the background, tree and stars anyways. With the stars, I like to try and do fun little constellations sometimes in them, so I think I used, was it Cancer? It might have been Cancer or something else. Don't know if you can pick it up very well though. It's sort of just the basis constellation I did, and then I scattered a bunch of other random ones. Again, he's got the orange streetlight lighting without having the actual streetlight in the photo. Brian's was the only one that had that. And yeah, so he's climbing over a fence to who knows where. There might be a window out of shot there or something. I didn't actually honestly think it through that well. I'm just proud of myself for actually practicing backgrounds with these. I often avoid them. They're not my strong suit, but if I force myself to practice, I'll get there eventually. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. I actually really liked how the shading on this one turned out there. Like, especially on the mask, for some reason the white spaces seem to take up, like, my specific shading style really well in terms of colour variation. Probably because there isn't any other colour to muddle it up. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. See you later.